Female office workers will be laid off and replaced by artificial intelligence.
Let's go to the kitchen. We're going back to the kitchen. It's impossible to believe. It's impossible to believe.
This news, even though it sounds crazy, is real. Look, 79% of women's jobs could be replaced by AI. Artificial intelligence is reinforcing the existing inequality between men and women, they say. In fact, Polymarket confirms it. New. The analysis reveals that jobs in companies where women are the majority are more vulnerable to automation by AI than jobs held by men. Look, I know they're going to try to say that all of this is sexism, that basically this widens the gender gap and blah blah blah. I know that's what they'll try to sell. But I'm telling you right now, that's completely false. Now, this isn't false. I mean, women being replaced by AI, that could happen. That could end up happening. But the idea that this is because of gender is what's false. The problem is the type of job most women are looking for. Please, let's look at the following. Women mostly choose office jobs, administrative, service and care positions, representing 80% of applications in administrative sectors and 60% in human resources areas. And obviously think about it with AI, with automation, which jobs are the most easily replaceable? Obviously human resources and administrative positions. Offices where someone is sitting there working in Excel, those kinds of jobs are the most vulnerable to AI. That's the harsh reality. And the problem is that those kinds of jobs are mostly dominated by women. And look, this is understandable. On average, women are less likely to take risks than men. And in fact, women usually prioritize job and professional stability over higher pay. I mean, historically, this type of office job where you are, in a cubicle with coffee, cookies, air conditioning, where you're in front of a computer, that type of job for many years, for decades, was seen as a stable job, as a secure job, where you could even grow professionally. So that's why many women chose to pursue those kinds of careers, which today are the most vulnerable to AI. But be careful, that's not the case for all women, because as you saw, many of them work in the service sector. And I think that's the key. Women who work in the service sector, I think they are much better protected from this whole AI thing. But let's take a good look at what's happening, because at first, a lot of people started laughing about this. Look, fake jobs go to hell, and they share this meme with us. You've seen it, right? It's very, very famous.
Gen Z boss in a mini, Gen Z boss in a mini, itty bitty titties and a bob, itty bitty titties and a bob, 5'3" in an attitude, 5'3" in an attitude. Secret product and a trench, secret product and a trench. New friend green and a sneaky link, new friend green and a sneaky link. Fake dead hands and a hoop, fake dead hands and...
Yes, at the time it went very viral. A lot of people got angry because they said this is the only thing women do in offices. So it was very, very controversial at the time, but this was at least a couple of years ago. Now, let's continue. Here they tell us that too many fake jobs were invented in order to create artificial parity between men and women in the workplace. AI solves this problem. I hope that once all this is over, women can go back to doing what they do best. Thank you. I'm not going to say what it says here, okay, but it's not something nice. Well, at least it says to be mothers, okay. Okay, I think that's acceptable. Now, as you can see, a lot of people laughed at this, but beyond the meme and all, I don't think it's nice that a large percentage of the population is in danger and at risk of losing their jobs. Be careful about what this could mean if it really comes true. Be careful, we're not aware of the full crisis that's coming. But anyway, let's see what they're telling us. The automation of many jobs threatens to worsen gender inequalities. Oh my God, gender inequalities. Worsening them when the vast majority of laws favor women is the most ironic thing of all, isn't it? And it reopens the debate about which jobs should be protected in the age of artificial intelligence. I mean, which jobs should be protected? I mean, why protect them? If it's not sustainable, if a job isn't profitable, sadly it has to go. Period. I know it's shocking, right? But if a job can't sustain itself, why keep it? Or do you plan to make companies like the government? Because, what the government usually does is this crazy thing of hiring people for positions that are completely useless just to have patronage networks and stay in power. But there are a lot of people who work, a lot of public servants who work, in quotes, who are in jobs that actually have no function, who just go there to sit around doing nothing. That's the harsh reality, and they are funded with the people's money, with the taxpayers' money from the workers. So we're thinking of doing exactly the same thing with companies. I mean, having people who have no function or any usefulness at all. Well, unfortunately, many companies already do this with all these offices. You know about equality, gender, diversity. You know these diversity offices. Well, obviously those offices are useless. That's the reality. They're useless, but companies in the United States, especially in California, keep them because, I don't know, they have to pretend to be inclusive. But it's one thing to have a diversity department with 20 useless employees. And it's a very different thing to keep, I don't know, thousands of employees who are completely useless. And that's probably what would end up happening if they go through with this madness. I mean, they already want to protect these jobs, right? I mean, if the job can't sustain itself, if the job isn't profitable, why keep it? Seriously, that seems ridiculous to me. In fact, they're telling us here, the AI shock in the job market for women from the newspaper El País, which is one of the worst out there. This newspaper, really. It's key that gender issues take a top spot on the agenda of policymakers. Gender issues take a top spot. Look, they want to turn all of this into a gender issue. First, let's see what a responsible politician is according to the newspaper El País. Sanchez? Please. So obviously you can already get an idea of the caliber of these people. And secondly, they want to make all of this about gender when it has nothing to do with it. The real reason is personal choices. It's that simple. Their preferences. Women chose these jobs for personal reasons because of their preferences, for reasons of what was most convenient for them at the time. Now, unfortunately, these jobs will be affected by artificial intelligence, but let's not forget that these women work in those positions because they chose to, because they wanted to be there. Incredible, guys. It's completely crazy. The world that's coming? Oh, we are not aware. And gentlemen, see you next time.